Okay, I just wanted to do a short little video of this 2013 BMW Motorcycle 1600 GTL. There's plenty of other videos on YouTube that you can look at on the 1600 GTL, but I just want to do one personal one of my own for you to take a look at. Let's start with the basics here. The bike, as you can see down right here, today has 19,129 miles on it. You see it's 7:22 in the evening. Right now, for example, on this information panel, it'll show you getting 43.4 miles per gallon. It's also got built-in GPS, which you can remove out of there to update it on your computer. It's got an awesome stereo system built in right here. Right now, the 1600 GTL six-cylinder inline six-cylinder engine is probably the most powerful production motorcycle made to date. It weighs about 750 pounds, full of 3/4 full of gas and oil. I've had the motorcycle up to about 115, 117 miles per hour. Top rated speed is basically says over 125. I know it'll do at least 130. Or if you want to go that fast. If you want to go that fast, you have to make sure you really have to take this windshield down, because that's what starts slowing you down and buffeting in the wind. But anyway, this motorcycle is not actually brand new. Like I said, it is 2013. These are low miles for a bike of that age. Probably what I would say is this: I would not even consider selling this motorcycle to a first-time motorcycle rider or a road rider. This bike is not for the faint of heart. It is very powerful. If you compare this motorcycle's acceleration and power to like a Gold Wing, it'd be like the Gold Wing wasn't standing there, standing still, literally. Harley Davidson would be even worse. When I first got on it and rode it, you can do a wheelie with this bike, going from first to second gear and from second to third. It is possible. So you got to be careful riding this thing. However, I will say this: the bike was actually made for touring and long distance riding, but it is very nimble feeling when you ride it. It doesn't feel like a big motorcycle when you're riding around in town, even at slow speed. It feels very lightweight and very nimble. Steering is very light compared to other big motorcycles. It's called a sport touring bike because it's made to ride in a sport manner of touring, not necessarily laden down with a whole lot of gear. But this bike will carry over 450 pounds of payload. It does a lot of different things. Probably one of the nicest things I found out about it as far as touring goes, this tank holds 7 gallons of gas. And even at 43, and by the way, on the road, you'll always get at least 46. The reason it shows 43 is because I've been starting it in the garage and keeping it lubricated all winter. So that's why the mileage is down a little bit. But at 46 miles per gallon and 7 gallons, that gives you a range of over 300 miles, which is incredible, really, on a bike. Other people have a hard time even keeping up with you in that regard. I have added, it comes standard with just so many different things, it's hard to describe it, but I have added a couple things. One thing in particular I added was this engine guard right here, made by Ilium, and the matching highway pegs. I had that because I took the bike on a cross-country trip, literally, from North Carolina all the way to Montana, and for that purpose I put those pegs on there. Also, I will tell you that the motorcycle has been down twice. I said that in the write-up. It one time was backing off a trailer. It fell slightly down on the grass, and one time it fell right here in my garage. Again, lightly, but on concrete that time. There are some small blemishes to the bike, very small. You stand and look at it, it literally looks brand new. But it does have its small little blemishes. If you come over here, I just want to point out one blemish that I just happened to look down and see. Right here, you can see these little scratches. What's caused that is people getting on the bike, the passengers and riders, kicking it with their boots, hitting this for throwing your leg over the bike. Talk about getting on the bike. The bike is right now got what's called a low seat. Most BMWs are known for being tall bikes and not made for people below 5'9", really. But a 5'7" person can ride this motorcycle. That's the lowered style seat. That's why this is so far down here. It's very comfortable back there. Once the passenger's packed in between here and the seat, they're pretty much locked in there. There are additional armrests you can buy to go here for the passenger. Never had them, but I've heard people say they're good. Another feature I'd like to show people is I'm going to show you that you have what's called a power windshield here. Push of a button on the handlebar, you can adjust the windscreen for variable conditions. Believe it or not having the windshield being totally high is best in the rain, but for wind and knocking down the wind, you want it down a little bit, basically right at your eye level. That's just what I have to determine riding it myself and adjusting it, right? It does have a real nice stereo system. It's on FM right now, but it's also set up to hook up to your phone automatically, Android or iPhone, and you can play music from your phone. It's got Bluetooth enabled on the motorcycle. I'll turn the sound up on the stereo a little bit.
Now you can take my old pillow and throw it out the door. You can buy another bed. You can find
everything on the bike on this menu up here on the screen here is controlled basically right here with your fingertips. This knob right here, because I'm turning the sound back. But if I want to advance the channel, I take this knob and just push it in one time. It changed the channel. Okay. It's all controlled right there.
My name is Kenny.
And if you hit menu, for example,
in Jacksonville.
it'll keep track.
Eastern North Carolina.
Roll the dial.
The late '90s,
the range,
and that's where I met
click
my
it,
husband, who was a Marine. I was
and you'll see it's getting 57 miles until empty right now.
To California and the war with Iraq, and unfortunately, he was killed in Iraq. First time I discovered
everything is
NPR,
controlled.
I was living overseas.
Oh, here's another area. Hold on a
minute.
There.
And then when I moved back to the States and moved to Jacksonville.
Let me show you this right here.
I think I just scrolled through the radio.
This computer here, for example, will keep track of everything from temperature, which is shown at 68.9 degrees, down to tire pressure, which is right now. You hit tire pressure, and the bike is set up right now for riding one passenger, shows one helmet. If you come down here further, just keep rolling that dial I showed you on the handlebar earlier. But it's all controlled. This is why you're going down the road. You don't have to be pushing a bunch of buttons and doing all that stuff. You just basically stop right while you're riding. You just roll this thumb knob here. Of course, it's got cruise control, electronic cruise control. It works extremely well. It's got self-canceling turn indicators. In other words, after you turn, it automatically turns them off. That's real nice. It works right about 90% of the time, which is better than most bikes. But also one other addition, I'm kind of jumping around, but one addition I made was to put these on. The bike came with pegs like the rider pegs here. And I put these on for the passenger. There's those small floorboards for passenger. This right here is your heated seat, and it does heat up to a point you want to get off it. Handlebars, grips are also heated. And let me show a little space here inside here. We've got a lot of storage space. You got enough room for a full face helmet will fit in there, for example. By the way, the bags are fully detachable easily. I know other manufacturers say they're easy to get it on and off. They're not. These come right off. I mean, very, very easy. Back here, you got the top trunk. It'll also hold a full face helmet. In fact, they say you can get two of them in there. I've never tried that because I don't use full face helmets anyway. But I had that. It's got two exhausts, 6 into 2 pipes, but you notice you actually have 6 different exhaust pipes built in, which is a 6-cylinder engine. The tires on the bike right now are really good. They're Michelin Pilot 4 GT tires. Got plenty of wear left on this tire right here, at least 3,000 miles. And the front tire, probably 4,000 miles left on it. So those are very good tires for this bike. These are real good traction tires. You can get longer wearing ones, but they won't be quite as sticky as these. But the Michelin's are good tires. I guess I'll go ahead and just crank it up so you can get a feel for the sound of it. One more thing, let me show you this right here. This weird looking thing right here is actually a mug holder. It'll hold a thermos or a mug. I have two of them to go in there. You sit that in, you can drink going down the road, and believe me, that comes in handy too. Especially on a long trip where you don't have to stop just to get something to drink. One more thing, oddball, but I didn't even know it had this for months. But you can push this out like this. This is for hot days, and I use this in Oklahoma and Texas. But you open that up, and wind will come in front of that. Wind will come in here and cool off the rider. It gets pretty hot back here behind this fairing. That was a novel idea. I didn't even notice did this for many, many months myself. But it does do that. Let me go ahead and crank it up. It has a unique sound. It's hard to even describe what kind of sound this thing makes. Talking over 160 horsepower. Have that 6-cylinder engine. It's got more horsepower than many cars in the world today. Kind of reminds me of a sewing machine. Oh, boy, that's about 60 miles an hour right there. Just over 2,000 RPM. Okay. Go ahead and give me my number, 252-772-5422. I'm asking $13,000 for it. No lowball offers. I don't want to entertain that. I don't have time for that. Y'all do your research and find out what you think the bike's worth and make a reasonable offer. Check out the other videos on the advertisement I put out there.